Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? And it's wee Paddy back again. I was away on a wee holiday. Me and my wife were away at a seaside town, Ballyronan, over here in Northern Ireland. We were right on the beach in a lovely little cottage, and we had a great time. I have to say it was lovely. It was a real chill out. I didn't do any knife videos or anything at all. In fact, I took a whole lot of bushcraft stuff down to do it, and I didn't do a whole lot of that either. We walked on the beach, we took wee drives around the coast, which is just beautiful, and it was a real break, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm back with a vigorous desire to make more videos. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the video I made before I left. I deleted it by mistake. It came up on my feed and there was two of the videos and they weren't going off. So I had a choice of 50-50. I picked one, deleted it, but it took both of them off. So there we go. That's Paddy's luck. But I'm going to talk today about little collections. I call a collection is when you've got 5 of that pattern or knife or whatever that you want to pick. This is just the law. If you've got 5 of something, it's a collection. So you can start a video channel with 5 knives. There you go. That's it. Out there for anybody who's sitting waiting, don't think they have enough knives. Absolutely not. You can do it. So I've got 6 here of little knives, and they're a knife collection I've only just recently started. I've had a couple of these knives for years, but I've only started trying to find more recently. And I've been very lucky. I've been gifted a couple, which is just amazing. And so I'm going to talk you through them and why I like them so much. First of all, they're old traditional pocket knives. It's a pattern that was used years ago and it's not used now. Or if it is, I've not seen many new ones, that's for sure. I'm going to start with a gift. This was gifted to me by Slippy. He knows I collect these because he has given me another one as well. These are small end caps, bolster and end caps. They're both small. I think it's just such a lovely thing. I really do enjoy having these. They just look different. They look smart. This one's in absolutely fabulous condition. Yellow Delrin. I think it's yellow Delrin anyway. Sometimes it's very hard to tell with these old knives, but it sounds and feels like yellow Delrin. And it was a pen knife, but it's only got one blade now. But that really does not matter in the slightest. Let me just show you. Let's get this. So difficult for me to hold this still. There you go. This is Johnson. Oh, I'll have to get my blooming magnifying glass. Yeah, I had them all in my head, but I can't remember nothing for damn worth a damn. There you go. I'll just read it. Johnson Western Works. A lovely old knife made by a UK maker. And it had a little pen blade in there, which you can see is now missing. There's the wee gap for it. But what a lovely little spear point on there. Beautiful snap on it. An absolutely perfect knife. Now, it was only one spring, so I'm trying to get this to focus there. It was only one spring, quite a thick spring, but it just doesn't defect. This is an absolutely cracking little 5th pocket knife. I just throw it in my pocket with another knife, to be honest, and just use it. Now, they're old. A lot of these are older knives. This maybe, I'm not sure. I would say it's mid 1950s, maybe. I think actually maybe earlier. I'm underestimating, if you like, because if you look, these are all still hand pin bolsters. They're none of them smooth or flat. You can see that they're definitely pinned by hand, which usually gives a sign of fair age. I think, well, maybe 60s and below, but the age really isn't important. It's a lovely little pen knife, and it takes a wicked edge with that carbon steel that was used back then. So the next one is, and I'm going to take this and see if I can read it before I do it. Oh. This one is a, Stephen. This is Walker & Co. Sheffield, so another Sheffield maker, and this is a pen blade, and it has both blades. And I actually think this might even be ivory, but I'm probably going to say it's maybe it's either born or synthetic. It's so difficult to tell, but the lovely little end caps, I just think they're absolutely perfect. I just love the way it makes the knife look. I love that. Look at that shield, how well that is put in there. And again, this is mid last century. I just think it is absolutely super, super pen. And I mean, you've even got this swedge. You see along the top of the pen blade, just added work. There's a little swedge down here. Beautifully done. Lovely small nail nicks, but they're really sharp and it's easy to pick your blades out. And these are all sort of, this is what, 1, 2, 3 inches. So they're all about 3 to 3¼ inches, maybe even 3½. Someone. I think this is the biggest one. But there is something just old-fashioned about it. There's something, look, and if you took this out to cut a bit of string or to cut something for somebody, they're not going to be threatened with this. So it is a handy tool to have in your pocket. And then we're going on to the next one. This is in just cow bone, I believe, but it's beautiful. You can see the way the whatever has been on it, I would say maybe the man was a smoker or something. You can nearly see that it's gone into this bone. It is just gorgeous. Who thinks smoke staining is gorgeous? But I do. I think it's beautiful. And again, all hand pinned, these tiny little bolsters. And I don't know why they don't do them anymore, because I do think it gives the knife a completely different look. Very delicate, very gentlemanly. And this one again is another pen knife. You have the two blades, the little pen blade and the spear, or whatever you want to call that. It's quite a strange shape. Well, it is a spear. But this would have been used for maybe even quills, because I think this one I think definitely goes back to the late 1800s, early 1900s. It is just beautiful. And this was made by, I think this is Needham Brothers. Yeah, this is the Needham Brothers, another Sheffield maker. But a stunning little knife. And again, the back springs are all absolutely fantastic. They still got spring and snap. Look at that. It's just that old carbon, and trust me, again, the shield beautifully in. There's no feeling of it. But this has been used during its life, which is what it should be. You know, it should be used. These are made for to be used as just an everyday. This is before EDC was ever a thing, but this would have done everyday tasks. Whatever whatever it could do, it would do. And I absolutely love this one. I love the bone that it's, and whether that's maybe just the way cow bone goes after years, it could be. But I sort of imagine the fella that had it was a smoker, kept it in his pocket, rubbing your nicotine fingers over it, smoking over it. But here's one that's not for a smoker, and this is probably the earliest one that I think. This is from 65 to 69, and this is a case. Look at this, beautiful, and it's imitation. You can see that it's imitation. What do you call it? Oh God, I am so. You see, nothing has changed. The break does not revive my memory. My memory is still 66 years old and done. But beautifully made, really beautifully made. The pins on this one are they're not as stamped. Let me just get this up. These are sort of very flattened. So you can see by the middle of last century, they were really flattening them beautifully, symmetrical rather than just hit with a hammer and left as they were. This is just beautiful. This is an unusual little pen knife. Look at this. And I believe this is in stainless steel and not in carbon steel. And again, lovely. You have the little cutout here. Mother of pearl, that's what it's an imitation of. Just came to my head. And it's this blade. Look at the shape on this little blade. Look at that. It's like a little half hawk. But what a fantastic thing you had. You know, if you were doing budding, you know, with plants and that, there's a beautiful little nice to cut into a thin stem to join something or whatever. Or opening boxes in your modern world. This is an absolute little, look how thin that is. It would just slice through any tape on a box beautifully. I haven't used it, so I can't tell you whether that's fact or not. But again, lovely little bolsters, and that was in the 60s. So they're out there to find. But to get a case in this mint condition, and I'll just show you the timestamp on this just so you can see it. There you are. It's case XX with the USA below it, the dots after it, which is 65 to 69, I believe. I could be wrong, but there you go. So just a beautiful little one for the collection. And the fifth one, which makes it a collection, is definitely one of my favorites and one that I've had the longest. Look at the color and the depth of that bone. Just look at that. There's your, what's they called it? The Indian trail. He goes up where all the Indians, when they were going through a trail, they all walked in a line. So this was the sort of pattern they would have leaved if you were, trying to catch up with them or follow them. There it split off. So I think they called it Indian trail bone. But just the depth and the colour of it is amazing. Beautiful little shield. Again, the real hand-pinned and just beautifully done. I just think that is lickable. I'm sorry, but it just is. It is just lickable. It is, treacle. Treacle is what it looks like. But again, another little penknife. And most of these little blades were all little penknives. Again, that lovely carbon steel. I have a wicked edge on it because I carry this one quite often. In fact, more than quite. I carry it quite a lot just to throw in my pocket. I just like having it. Listen to that snap on the small blade. Not so much on the big, but still a perfect little EDC carry. And now my favourite of them all. And it's this one. And again, look at that beautiful bone with the Indian trail going all the way up through it. You have another one there. And on the back, you have the forked trail. The fork, where they're coming up and they separate. This is just perfection. And a really small end caps. They're really tiny. So delicately done. And this is a 3-bladed knife. On one spring, you might think. But there's a little secret with this knife. If you haven't seen this in my collection, I was overjoyed when I got it. You have a lovely pen blade. And then we have the little long pulls on these. It's just a crescent moon on this one, but long pull on these two tiny little blades. But look at the workmanship on them blades. Come on. This is maybe for quills, if you wanted to use them for quills. But I think I was calling it a whittling knife because it's that whittling pattern. It is in immaculate condition, and I believe this is early 1900s at the latest, maybe even before, because that workmanship is just phenomenal. Like, look at that long pull and the swedge. Though for such a small knife, they're not easier to make when they're small. They're probably more difficult to make when they're small. And that bone, and it's in the Stockman, not a Stockman, a gunstock pattern. You can see that there. You can see the gunstock pattern. Oh, good gosh. You can see that. But what a beautiful piece of cutlery. This just does it for me. If you want to get me the fizz, this is just amazing. And this was made by Robeson. Am I right in saying that? I'm just going to... Yes, this one is the Robeson. Robeson cutlery. I've got a couple of Robesons. I've only got 3, so I need to get another 2 for a collection. But by far my oldest and most treasured little knife. I just think it is delicious. And again, this one is just 3 inches, maybe 3 1/8 at the push. But please tell me that doesn't. I mean, is it a manicuring knife? Probably a man's manicuring knife that he could use for whittling if he wanted to. But it is just everything about it. But here's what makes it the manicuring knife. Can you see this here? And then there's a little cut in. Just, you can hardly see it. It's in the back. And then you pull this out. And look at this. This is a nail cleaner. Can you see that? Beautiful nail cleaner. But down the side, you have the little file there. Beautiful little file for doing your nails. And then a larger file here. I just think this is lovely. And then you look inside. And there you go. Oh. You have 2 blades inside. One for the main, and everything is just so beautifully made. And tell me the last time you've seen one of these. because I can't remember seeing one, but it was two-bladed, or two springs, but three blades. See, two springs, two blades, and then this bottom one is used on the both put together. Honestly, it's just phenomenal. I think the workmanship to do a small knife with this, with 4 blades on it, is out of this world. Look how neat that looks. And this is why I love pocket knives. This is why I love traditional knives, because there's nothing modern comes close to this. I mean, put this up against any sack knife and I know which one I would take, because that is just class. That is class. So there's my little collection of small bolster and end cap blades, and I just love this collection. I'm not particularly looking for any more, but they're the sort of things that if I see one and it's nice and I haven't got it in it, I'll probably buy it. One of them things. I'll probably buy it because I just love this little collection so much. And I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit different. I mean, I'm not going to talk about use and what the edge retention is knife. This is just a collector's little paradise of 6 knives that just really make it for me. They just make it. And carrying these, and all of these are sharp. No, I haven't sharpened that one, but I think Slippy did. But they're all sharpened, and I'll carry them all. The only one down here that I haven't is the case, because I just haven't got round to it yet. I just haven't got round to it. And because it's case and that sort of well-known sort of modern, it's one that really straddles between the old and the new. But they all do that. Doesn't really matter. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. It's really nice to be back chatting to you. I feel as if I was missing a friend, and you're that. So tomorrow's video, please look out for, because this is where Paddy the Barry goes back on what he had decided on a few years ago, and he does a complete U-turn. And I'm going to be doing the video on this. This is the Who knife, the latest Who knife, which is available now at Who Knives. Go and find them and order one of these. This is a double detent, but it has the flipper. It has a fantastic breaking point on it. It has the thumb stud. This is a truly modern slip joint. M390 blade in titanium. You can actually buy these little beads on there. This is the Who. This is the mask that was found in Who in England. But just an amazing knife for under £200. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that will be coming up tomorrow. Sort of gave it away what it's going to be. So there we go. That's me finished. Have a lovely Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow for another wee video. Take care now. Bye-bye.